Welcome to Minions and Misfits, the off-kilter, family-friendly, actual play podcast, where instead of playing your archetypal heroes, we play the Minions and Misfits. As always for this season, I am your friendly facilitator, Rebecca Evans, and these are my...
boys.
I had an alliterated thing I was gonna say that I forgot.
We're your Swoop Troop.
The Swoop Troop.
We're the Swoop Troop.
The positive players, the creative co-hosts. There goes all my alliteration skills. We got Dylan.
Hello, hello, hello.
We got Sam.
Hi, I don't like those names.
And we got Cam.
What's happening?
What's up?
All right, we are reaching the end of Season 4 Pearlsfield.
I'm scared.
It's very exciting, very happy, so I have a very positive, uplifting question corner for the
question
boys.
Corner.
It's, what was the most impactful nightmare your character has had?
That's rough. That's rough. Okay. What happened to positive question corner?
She really had us in the first half.
Yeah. Most impactful nightmare.
You know what? I'll go ahead. I'll start. Niles dreamed that his father died, and then he woke up and his father was dead.
Dang.
That's rough, buddy.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's powerful, bro.
that's horrible. Did
The
Niles...
doctor did what?
Did not... I love that he was horrifically mauled by
trampled
two
by a
different equines, but also it was hilarious. Like, if you make it real, it's like, oh gosh, but then it's just, I have this cartoonish image of this cartoon donkey and horse just like beating him up as he bounces between them, going,
I just want, like, if this ever gets made into like a TV series or something, just while Niles is explaining it, a slow pan up to his face and just the sound of hoofs and screams, like
Which is truly horrific. Like, being trampled is terrifying. It's so bad. But also, did Niles did Niles start wondering if maybe he had prophetic dreams after that, but in the worst way?
I think he always wakes up really freaked out whenever he has a nightmare, basically.
Always
He's like, oh, please no.
It adds on to the neuroticism.
Okay.
Really adds flavor.
The newspapers called it the most hilarious tragedy in Pearlsfield history.
Oh no.
But it's true.
Okay. Kim.
It's hard to say what Ephraim's would be. Probably had something to do with Joffrey.
Did he just have reoccurring, like, instead of this big nightmare, reoccurring kind of like low-level nightmares of Joffrey just interrupting important moments?
Yeah.
Joffrey interrupting his positive dreams?
Oh no.
Yeah.
You know, because he's poor. Oh.
No, I think for Freddy, there was like a rocking horse he had as a child.
Oh no.
That he would, for some reason, have dreams of it coming to life and chasing him everywhere with red eyes.
Oh no.
And then whenever he awoke, he would fence it in so it wouldn't chase him.
And then a
Is
horse
this drawing from my
killed
real
his
life
dad.
childhood, perhaps?
Okay. So you weren't even thinking about the fact that a horse would later kill his father?
No, that was the extra bonus part. 'Cause I was like, this is a real nightmare, recurring nightmare I had as a child. This really goes great with the theming we have going on.
Arts
He had
imitate
just finished
life.
his last round of therapy and was finally over the horses when he got home and heard the news.
The most hilarious tragedy.
I now imagine all the Worthington like carriages and stuff just being pulled by people.
They're all donkeys now.
Except a donkey also killed his father.
Oh no.
It was a
They're all
horse and a
mules.
donkey. But I imagine like people very Monty Python and the Holy Grail style.
Yeah.
The coconuts.
Like, we can afford you. You can do this.
Yeah.
I think, let's see, who will I go with? Do you guys have a preferred NPC I should
The
make
dove.
a nightmare for? Ooh, the
Mumsy.
dove. I feel like I can't do the dove. The dove is too secretive.
No,
Mumsy?
you must tell us.
You do Mumsy.
Mumsy? Mumsy's
Mumsy's nightmare came true, and Niles took over the family.
You know those dreams where you are faced with a threat and suddenly you can't move anymore? Or you move very slow? I think she is trying to run away to safety. She sees like the house
From
in
a
front
horse.
of her. I was gonna say it's a horse. It used to be like unknown, and then it became this giant, shadowy, flaming horse that
With
she
the face of Agatha.
is trying to run away from, but it's getting closer and closer.
That's unfortunate. Nice positive question corner, she says.
Let's jump into the next chapter.
Oh, man.
Chapter 10, Sense and Flammability. Alright, when we left off, we had a very connectory kind of novel chapter, very brief. And because for most of this game it's been much more kind of, slow flowing, big chunks of time, and now we're kind of in the crunch, we are going to go against the flow and hop around a little bit. We aren't going to have a reputation phase. Not much happened anyway. As long as y'all are all cool with that. Nothing that we would need to resolve.
There's nothing I'd add.
Yeah.
We're not going to mess with our rumors and scandals. We're going to leave them as is. But for those who don't have access to our online play documents,
Which is all of you.
our current scandals are that Lady Worthington is a drunk who was wasting the fortune on liquor. Frederick is a coward who hired the adventurers to resolve a conflict with Mr. McPherson. And
Do you know that's
Ephraim
actually true?
and Ephraim is the dove. Those are our scandals.
Also true.
I forgot about that one.
Because it's true.
Next, we'll go to the epistolary phase, which will probably be shorter. I
by
don't know
shorter,
if,
I mean just Cam.
if anyone has any letters that would have been sent during that week or so following Georgiana/George's disappearance. Sam, do you also have a letter? I see you.
I do. You may want to go first because it's a bit of a palate cleanser after the nightmare question.
Oh my.
It's Vlad writing to Pierre. And I think it would be funny to say that like Vlad is even more illiterate than Pierre. like every word is spelled wrong somehow. Even like A, just A is like spelled wrong, just backwards.
It's an E.
It's written in crayon.
Symbol.
Yeah. And it's just a short little note that Pierre received via being dive bombed by a bat. Like not dropped off, like dive bombed, like the bat tackled Pierre and then just like flew away.
Intentionally scratched him in the face a couple times and then flooded off.
Left some guano behind. Pierre, comma. He writes it out.
Coma.
Some stuff is about to go down. I recommend that you pack up. Make sure you pack the coffin, the dirt, the blood, the suits, the Zyrtec, and the ibuprofen. Await my command. XOXOXO. Your Dark Master. In parentheses, flat.
I imagine Pierre getting this and just kind of like reading it, kind of like hunched in a corner, but he's like in the background behind Ephraim, who's just in the sitting room sipping tea and like glancing occasionally back at Pierre. Like, what's he doing? Does he think he's him?
The dive bomb and the reading is all just in the background.
He's just like running back and forth away from the fan in the background.
And Ephraim just
Ephraim's
shrugs.
just at his desk quietly writing a letter, and then Pierre's just scurrying around back and
Losing his
forth.
mind.
Radigan is like following him, trying to catch the bat.
Oh boy. Cam, what letters did you have going on?
I've got 2 letters,
So many letters.
both going to the same person.
Why is it not just one letter?
Allow me to set the scene.
Oh boy. Batman transition.
Georgia has gotten to wherever it was she was going. Was it back home?
Yeah.
She said to Mother.
She's unpacking some of her things, and when she opens her suitcase and moves a couple of things, there's a little rat standing amongst her stuff, and it's holding 2 letters.
Oh.
One of them is from Ephraim. It looks new, pretty fresh. Another one is a little bit more worn, like it's been in transit for a very long time, and it has Niles' seal on it.
Does the rat prefer one for her to read first?
He kind of jauntily
No.
bounces them back and forth, like, "Oh, which one do you want?" Like,
Which one would she grab first?
She'd go for the Niles one.
Yeah, for sure.
Here.
What does it say?
What does this long-awaited letter from Niles say?
okay. Oh,
Do you not have it
gosh.
written out?
No,
We've sent this how long ago?
I know.
What was your plan?
Oh, okay.
There was no plan.
There wasn't. This is
Niles
this is
just like,
actual
I didn't
play.
think she would actually read it.
It just says, "Do you like me?" Check yes or no. No. It just says, "Dearest Georgiana, it's been a true honor and pleasure getting to know you over these past few years. I hope to visit you once again in the city, if I'm ever given the chance. Unfortunately, my responsibilities have only grown at home. Period. Although I would be delighted if you came to visit me. I think you would enjoy Pearlsfield. But, to be honest, that isn't why I'm writing. I knew from the day I met you that I never wanted to stop spending time with you. And if it is..."
We get this flashback to Niles sitting at his desk,
Yeah,
Like-
what's the words?
brushing the feather of his quill against his nose, sneezing, having a sneezing fit, going back to trying to think of what to say next.
I am unsure of your response, but it's always been my policy that honesty is the straightest path forward.
Honesty is the policy of my policy of the best policy.
I love you, truly and ardently, Niles."
Oh,
Ardently is a word we don't use enough.
it's true.
It's a good word.
People aren't ardent enough anymore.
And
Georgia.
it's like dated. It's dated before,
yeah.
like
Dating letters,
Like a,
also a pro move.
yeah, it's like a year ago or two, before she was engaged to Frederick.
Old Fred.
Freddy boy.
I imagine we just kind of are looking over her shoulder at this letter, and we see a little plip, plip, as a couple tiny wet marks appear on the page. She folds it up. She tucks it away, and she opens the letter from Ephraim.
What's up?
Hey, what's going on?
You up?
No, it's a... No,
It bursts into
it
flames.
reads as follows. To my dearest sister, Georgia, I understand I haven't taken time to really apologize to you. And I feel that I have more to apologize for than even from the last time we spoke. This whole time, I've had my eyes on the prize, so to speak. I thought that what I was doing was in both yours and Mother's best interests, but I see now that that was foolish of me. In scheming and pushing for you to be married to Frederick, who, let's face it, is an oaf, I was unintentionally denying you the happiness that you truly deserved. I must admit that the other letter that Radigan has brought you, I have kept on my person since it was originally written. I see now what a mistake that was. And had I let things take their natural course, I think everybody would be all the better for it. Hopefully, it is not too late. As I write this, we are preparing to make a stand against one Joffrey Schmezos, who I'm sure you remember as being the worst.
All caps.
Whatever happens, just know that I love you, dear sister. And I believe that Niles truly loves you as well. Yours, Ephraim, Lanfire Pulgwingil, Gogera Schwindrobul, Lantusilio Gogogoch.
Now we see Georgia, we see her face, and we see her crying in earnest now, trying to wipe away the tears as a very shadowy figure comes up beside her and places a gnarled, twisted hand on her shoulder. And Georgia takes it and continues crying. And the other hand of this veiled, shadowed figure reaches out and shuts the suitcase. And we cut away.
Gosh dang.
You should go get murdered?
Stay tuned. All right, any more letters?
It's the rot.
No, he's back.
How did he get here?
How you doing, Georgia?
Shakes a can of raid.
Backfeed.
Abjuration raid. Any more letters?
Repel insects.
Repel insects, yes. Any more letters? Any more letters?
Not on my end.
Any requests for letters? That is also a thing we can do here before we go on to our potentially final novel phase.
Oh gosh.
I don't expect that Georgia's written Niles back, has she?
No letter
Didn't
has
think
returned?
so. Because the rot ate her.
Nom, nom, nom,
Dang
nom,
it.
nom, nom.
What a twist.
Because Ephraim is the rot dove.
We didn't kill him in the last season, so
No.
he's still out there lurking
He's
somewhere.
always
Yeah.
available if we ever need
yeah.
him.
Always in between worlds in the May. I imagine the May stream just exists as a world between worlds.
Yeah, for sure it is.
Yeah. Stick
Not
that
only
in your
is Ephraim-
TTRPG games, folks.
Not only is Ephraim the dove and also the rot, but he is also a werewolf.
And a prince from a foreign country. He is every 12-year-old girl's first OC.
He's got a lot going on.
Okay, so novel phase. For this, I believe we are going to be at the dungeon, the entrance to the buried wizard tower. Now, did Niles ever get brought in on this little? I know they were intending to, but how did our other two boys, bring the third boy in on the plan?
Maybe Freddie wrote him a letter.
Wow. Sure.
I guess if I have to.
I guess.
Hint, hint.
I suppose I wrote a letter. More of a memo.
It's an envelope with a sticky note in it.
It's just a sticky note attached to the pigeon. Come get some.
It just has the dungeon, Dawn.
Get here. Or be square.
Party at the dungeon.
Is it party at the dungeon? What's like the intonation behind it?
The intonation is Freddie told you to come.
And this is more serious than Freddie has basically ever
Yes.
Usually Freddy is verbose.
Yeah.
Well, then in that case, give me 1 second to bring this up.
Oh?
Because
There's so many surprises this episode. I'm not
Niles
prepared.
Niles walks up to his closet and
Why
opens
does
it
everyone
up
know what's happening except for me?
and pulls out a chain shirt and a mace.
Oh my
Apparently
gosh.
priests have those in 5e. And kind of has polished like shoulder, not epaulets. What are those called? Like the little
Pauldrons?
Pauldrons?
Yeah. And he's like, well, haven't put these on since graduation.
Yeah, since inauguration.
Yeah,
There's a
and so it's
little
like,
graduation portrait of you and Brother Bro and a couple other clerics.
and like a slightly younger Father Phineas.
Yeah.
Like he has,
Big,
like,
The raccoon is there.
Same raccoon.
and he sets out to go to the dungeon. Not quite
What
sure
could
what
In the
go
morning.
wrong?
It's at dawn.
Oh,
So
Unless
I
he's
just
trying
like-
to get there early like a good boy.
well, I mean, I think it can be assumed. It's kind of like that Mulan montage where like we assume he leaves at the right time.
Yeah. But before he dons all his armor and stuff, the night before, he does have a nightmare.
Oh, great.
He does have a dream
Oh, boy.
where he is traveling through
Wait. He sits up and like one of the shirt, like part of his shirt rolls off his sleeve. He looks into the camera and he just says, "I dreamed a dream in time gone by." No, I'm sorry. Had to fit it in as the biggest Les Mis fan in the world. Sorry,
He is
continue.
currently wearing a 24601 shirt, so I will allow it.
Yes, I am.
But yes,
I wonder if that's a zip code anywhere. I wonder if
Did
24601
he
is
just
like a
dox
zip code
himself?
in
He
Utah
did.
or
And you
something.
need to move there.
Oh, well, where am I moving to? Hold up. 24601 zip
Sam, you gotta
code.
listen to your nightmare.
I'm going to Western Virginia.
West Virginia. Or is it Western Virginia?
Tazewell County,
Yeah,
Virginia.
It's Ammonate, Virginia.
Ammonate, Virginia. Well, I'm moving. I did dox myself by saying I don't currently live in Ammonate, Virginia. Kind of gave myself away there.
Somebody's just crossing that off a map and saying one step closer.
Somebody's like, they thought they had narrowed it down to there, and they just tear the whole thing off the
Gotta start
wall.
from scratch. Just circling Cambodia. Maybe here.
Sam, it has a census of 59 people.
Wow.
It's about to
get that up.
have 2 more.
3 if you count my dog.
Hey,
We don't.
and we
They need to
do.
do the Census Bureau.
Well, they should.
If dogs can be mayors, dogs should be able to vote. We'd have a better
good point.
presidential election if dogs could vote. But anyway,
Let dogs vote.
Yeah, on a more
Dogs
serious
vote.
note, Niles had a nightmare, a legitimate nightmare, that was not followed by a musical soliloquy.
okay. So the night before the dungeon, he has
Horse.
a dream. He's walking through a dark forest, tripping over branches and roots and getting caught in brambles.
It's the rot.
I know, I just think like, he sees the rot.
And he hears her voice. Georgiana, Georgia. It keeps switching back and forth. And for a moment, he bursts out of the trees, and there she is silhouetted in the moonlight. And she turns to look at him and reaches out. And the darkness of the forest envelops her. And you hear wind? Beating of wings? Huge, huge wings. Your eyes sting, and you wake up.
He's in a cold sweat.
And then, with that still lingering in the back
I
of his
dreamed
mind,
a dream
No.
in time.
we see Niles still in a cold sweat open his wardrobe and look at his cleric armor and weapon. And we get a montage of Freddy and Ephraim preparing as well. What do they do to gear up?
Freddy rolls up his sleeves, looks at himself in the mirror, and says, "All right."
He picks up that ornamental dagger that was mentioned in the one of the first episodes. Light
It's not
gleams
sharp
off
at
it.
all, but it can stab.
Anything can stab if you try hard enough. He tucks it in his belt, and we see this cool shot of him going out the front door, like whooshing his coat as it like slow-mo, like whooshes behind him. Ephraim.
He's the dove, so he has to go get in costume.
And change gender? No, Ephraim is dressing himself in sort of like his best clothes. And he puts on like a sort of traveling cloak. And then he turns it to Radigan. It's like, all right, buddy. You ready to do this?
Meep meep.
Except there's like hundreds of meep meep, meep meep, meep meep, meep meep, as each rat is cheering for you.
They just like assemble in like columns of 4 and start marching out the door.
Yeah. Ephraim's like, I don't think you're going to need the trench coat today, buddy.
Radigan slowly like kind of dissolves as the rat swarm gently, they politely fold up the coat and set it on the armoire. And then they are ready to go. Your swarm of rats.
Oh, Boise.
And I feel like as the montage begins to end, you see like Niles walking out of the room, and then he stops, turns around, and grabs his collar and puts it on top of all the like armor and everything, and continues out.
Yeah. The entrance to the dungeon, where this all began and where this all ends. This door stuck in the ground of a field out on the outskirts of Pearlsfield. It's a misty morning. The grass is high and green, but there is a well-trod path to this strange doorway into the unknown. And waiting there at the entrance, standing tall, alert, eyes darting around, is Thelka, clutching a book in one hand and a staff in the other, the top of which is covered with a burlap sack.
Nerd.
As the 3 gentlemen approach, I realize very much like Darcy in the 2008 Pride and Prejudice, walking through the misty grass, except they're going to battle. Mm-hmm. But is not confessing your
like
feelings.
Darcy, but sicker.
But sick, but like action heroes.
Like Darcy if he were rad.
The gentlemen congregate with the adventuring party.
Ephraim's the first to speak up. Good morning, everyone. Niles,
Ephraim.
let's bring you up to speed. My arch nemesis, one Joffrey Schmezos, wants to purchase this dungeon from the crown, presumably for some dastardly purpose or other, or perhaps simply some annoying purpose. Just, everyone believe me when I say that we want him to stick around as little as possible.
Works for me.
Between the Worthingtons, the Bashmores, and our friends here, our goal is to turn him right back around and send him back the way he came, empty-handed.
Send me
Alive?
back the way I came! As the sun crests the hill, silhouetted by the blaze of sunlight, Joffrey Schmezos approaches the group, previously unheard, despite approaching from, across a big ol' field.
He's so handsome!
Just behind him is his fiancée, so-and-so of the Anna Kendrick family. Did we give her a first name? Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Was it like Banana Anna Kendrick?
I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
I know they have a banana fortune.
That was their...
They're
Yeah,
banana
that was their
barons.
fortune.
The Anna Kendrick banana barons from
The banana.
New Hampshire, I think it was.
I mean,
The New Hampshire Anna Kendricks.
she's a mermaid, so is she like flapping behind him? Like, what's happening? How's that
There's a
look?
tank people carry.
I imagine she
Yeah.
has like an enchanted amulet that she's wearing that allows her to have feet, but she can't talk. When she takes it off, she's got her fins, but she can talk.
For when we get a guest star, a very special guest star on the podcast.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Anna Kendrick.
I
We
imagine
can always
obviously-
edit you in post facto.
And then we can use AI deepfakes to put you in.
No, we shall not.
Nope, not gonna
we
do
shan't
that.
be doing that.
So I feel like the tension is obviously palpable, and so Niles is gonna be like,
Is this him?
Lord Schmezos, I'm presuming.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Lord Niles Worthington, yes. What a gentleman who sold me my new quaint little bungalow.
Wait, you know this
Yes,
fool?
again, I'm sorry about the cat smell. But
Oh, it's
It seems
fine.
like-
I just needed some place to put my stuff.
oh yes,
I
of
just
course.
needed some place to put my cats.
I have 800 of them.
So it seems like there's been a bit of a clerical error. It appears as though there are other parties. There are other parties interested in the dungeon, so I'm afraid purchase will have to wait.
Oh, of the dungeon?
Uh-huh.
Lord
Yeah.
Worthington, you say that like you have any sort of say over who gets the dungeon. Lord Worthington,
Yes?
you're...
Wait.
Not
You're-
you.
You're not a lord. I'm
You're the
technically lord.
cowardly big brother.
Oh, so you've heard of me.
So desperate to make everyone like you, and no one really does. They just want your money.
I mean,
Joke's
yeah.
on them, we
Yeah,
have
I've
none.
I've learned this recently.
That's good. It's important to know the way of things. But no, Lord Worthington, there's nothing you can do to keep me, Joffrey Schmezos, from buying this dungeon. It's very cute that you all wanted to stand here and keep me from surveying my future property.
Niles kind of turns around slowly and does say, he has a point. We have no legal right to keep him out.
Well, I have good news about that. I don't give a crap. And I run up and I use the dagger to like put a little tiny hole right in his fine tie or whatever like cravat he's wearing.
Dang. You go to do that as Thelka's been trying to pull out like a writ of approval from the monarchy of like, we have the right to explore first. Oh no! And you rush forward with your dagger and whew, Joffrey, fast as light, grabs the blade with his bare hand.
Oh, well, it is
But you
dull as heck,
realize
so.
it is dull as heck. But you realize his hand has changed as you look down and see red scales climbing
Are you
up his wrist
Dragon?
and claws. He says, "Oh, did it take you that long to figure it out?" And he tosses the blade aside and begins to transform.
It's the beast of the dungeon, guys!
Thelka sighs and goes, "Dungeons and Dragons. There's always Dungeons and Dragons."
She said the thing.
Well, I do believe that is considered an unholy demon, so I believe we do have the legal right to attack it now.
Father Phineas?
Miss Anna Kendrick tosses off her medallion and flops onto the ground because now she has a fishtail. But she begins to chant incantations
Oh, gosh.
as Joffrey Schmezos transforms into this stories upon stories tall red dragon, smoke
look up.
steaming from his nostrils. The
Y'all,
adventuring
I'm a
was not
challenge rating of
prepared for
2.
this.
I don't know what I'm going to do here.
Ephraim pipes up to, it's like, Radigan, could you usher Miss Anna Kendrick elsewhere?
Radigan, fetch the nukes.
I have a feeling those incantations are not going to be helpful to our cause.
Radigan goes scrambling towards Miss Anna Kendrick, who like shouts magical words, and a wave of rats goes squee as they go flying back. But they continue their face-off as Thelka rips the burlap sack from her staff, and we see this vicious-looking curved blade at the top of her staff. And she says, "All right, guys, here's that battle you've been wanting." And the adventuring party all cheers and rushes forward.
I'm
and
going
then a small stoat breaks out in like full armor, with, like forks on the end, and like just charges forward.
guys, I'm
Adventure
going to, and I kind of duck behind whatever the nearest rock is.
Frederick, as you're hiding behind this rock and listening to the shouts of battle, the sound of flame, the like heat of it tossing your hair, you remember your conversation with the dove about secrets. You're out here all alone with this huge red dragon. If you all die, no one finds out about Joffrey Schmezos' true identity. But if you can get some witnesses...
There's a good point. Ooh.
This would ruin
I look
the
around real quick.
Schmezos household.
I look around and I'm like, there's no one here. I know exactly who to go. And I run to town as fast as I can.
We get this montage, or not montage, we just see Freddy running faster than he
Just
ever has,
sprinting,
tossing off his fancy coat. He's just like, his hair is flying loose from its, does he like, it's not long enough that he keeps it in a tail, right? It's just swept back.
No, it's just swept.
It's just whooshing in the wind. Who does he go to? Where does he go?
I run first to Dr. Haircut.
Yeah.
And then I run from Dr. Haircut's house to the constable's house, and then I run from the constable's house over to the tanner's house, and then I run from the tanner's house over to the McPhersons. Then I go from the McPhersons finally to go grab Father Phineas, and I pick him up my shoulders and I start sprinting over.
He's like,
Probably want to get the bash. You want to probably get.
Oh
Lord
shoot! Yeah, I should get the Bashmores too.
Bashmore also.
Yeah, let me grab the Bashmores. They can help Bashmore.
I think Freddy knows his town. Freddy is not a book guy. He is, as was said by his best friend, an oaf. But he knows people. He knows every dadgum family in this town. And he knows who to go to make sure the word spreads fastest.
Agatha.
It's exactly. He doesn't, it just comes naturally to him. It's not him plotting it out. He just knows who needs to know. And
Freddy
we
knows
see
everybody.
Sir Bashmore being like informed as someone runs down the street, stepping out the door of the store, smiling, a grin on her face as she watches more and more the word spreads. There's a red dragon! Joffrey Schmezos, red dragon! Get to the outside of town! And just crowds are heading that way.
Excellent.
Back at the dungeon, how are our boys doing in this fight?
Use that cleric armor.
Yeah, I feel like he's like dodging blows, and like he's not like he's not a combat
confident.
No, he's not combat competent, nor really combat trained. So he's like trying his best, like okay, jumping out of the way of the claw, hitting with the mace. That didn't work.
Shield goes here.
Because I think he doesn't even have a shield. He has a mace, and like he's wearing kind of like a Monty Python in the Holy Grail type armor, where it's like a long tabard and chainmail underneath it with like light armor otherwise. So just to be clear, the stakes are if Joffrey Schmezos takes it, the town is basically doomed.
Yes.
Is that aha?
And now what's really happening is that Joffrey Schmezos is trying to kill you all.
Fair.
He,
More importantly,
Yeah, forget the town. We're about to die, man.
yeah, Joffrey Schmezos, after transforming in this deep, gravelly voice, his like scaled throat glowing like a burning furnace, said, "Oh, I've been waiting to destroy Ephraim for years. I get it." And it's just like mocking him as the fight continues, and is very clearly planning to eat you all up as a little snack.
Nom 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 nom.
we probably don't have anything that can really damage a red dragon.
Radigan.
The adventurers
Where's Vlad when you
seem
need
to be
him?
doing some hits.
Someone get Vlad.
I don't think Vlad's on their side.
I don't care. Have Vlad bite the dragon. I want to see what happens.
We see, I think Vlad, in the background, behind the same rock that Freddy was at, is also hiding.
Don't mind me.
Occasionally peeking over and like casting spells to support Joffrey.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Rude.
In that case, because
Ephraim's just like, Vlad, I knew it. I knew it. In the meantime, he's like doing some sort of incantation of his own, revealing that he does in fact know at least a spell. Probably not a very helpful spell, but
it's just vicious mockery.
yeah. Pretty much. That's what he's been doing this whole
Ooh,
time.
yes. You got to think of a good vicious mockery to hit Joffrey Schmezos with.
Yes.
Well, he does that. I feel like Niles kind of catches Vlad out of the corner of his eye, and like he still remembers how he messed with Georgia and Frederick, so he kind of like makes a beeline towards Vlad, hopefully without being noticed.
Nice.
Vlad is trapped in this shadow of the rock, like with a tall coat, like a tall-necked coat, and some old-timey sunglasses because sunshine, the sun is rising. What were you saying?
Ephraim yells after Niles. Niles, if you're going to hurt him, at least let me finish this spell first. I kind of... he's kind of the one that gave me this. It's a whole thing.
Okay, he kind of like he was clearly like in a stealth position, and like Ephraim just gave him away. Like,
Well, he can't move.
That's fair.
But basically, what we're saying is if Niles is the NPC town version of a cleric, Ephraim is the NPC town version of a warlock.
Yeah.
Yay! I think there's a monster manual basic warlock somewhere in there, I'm sure.
But yeah, I feel like Vicious Mockery is a good...
Yeah.
I kind of have an idea for how I would like to finish this fight also.
Sick.
But first we have to hold out until the town gets here.
The town is arriving. As this fight is going on, the adventurers are doing most of the work. You're providing support, but the dwarven fighter gets knocked back and goes skidding through the dirt and coughs out blood and yells, "I need a healer!" Felka is like, my spells, oh no! I'm starting to run low on slots.
Oh, I've only got 3 slots.
Things are starting to look a little dire, and there's only some scuffs and scratches on Schmezos dragon as the first person crests the hill.
Yay.
And starts waving their arms and pointing at y'all and starts running. And a crowd follows.
Now he can heat the whole town at once.
Schmezos dragon swings his head around and goes, "Oh, I wasn't planning on that. Miss Anna Kendrick, dear, would you take care of that?"
Someone take her out.
How's Radigan faring with Anna Kendrick? My intent was because that she's doesn't have her legs anymore was for Radigan, all of the rats to just pick her up and just ferry her out into the woods.
They are trying. She keeps like smacking them with her fishtail, but they'll still pick her up and move her around, and her spell will like just barely miss as they pull her out of 30 feet. Now she's 31 feet away.
Got him. I would like to spend a resolve token to have another one of our little background player characters show up. But first, Ephraim sees the town showing up just as he sort of finishes preparing his vicious mockery. He says, "Oh, Joffrey, how do you think your reputation is going to fare once everybody on the continent knows that you are
This.
this?"
All scaly.
They're not going to know. I'm beautiful as a dragon or a man, and they're not going to find out. They're going to know nothing, just like you. You know nothing. Ha! Take that.
And then,
Wow, really?
And then,
really got him there.
I'm gonna. Nice comeback.
Ah!
Did your rich father-in-law write it for you?
A puff of smoke comes out of his nostrils and in the distance where the dwarven fighter is still flat on his back, he just goes, "Oh!"
I'm gonna spend my resolve token. Go ahead,
Sam.
Oh, well, that's happening. Niles like climbs over the rock and like draws his mace and like looks down at Vlad and just like casts, using one resolve token, casts guiding bolt and like hits him 3 times. The first time he goes, "That one's for Frederick," and he kind of like hits Niles like back towards the light, and he kind of swings it back again. He's like, "This one's for Georgia," and he kind of Niles is like, "Ooh, ew." And then the last one, he kind of rears back the mace and says, "And this one's for Father Phineas." And he kind of swings,
Yes.
sending like Vlad spiraling into the light.
Very like Team Rocket blasting off again.
Yes.
Like spinning, swing, like, off in a little sparkle of light. Vlad de Baguette.
No, I imagine that like he like gets like hit into the sunlight and he starts like shriveling up and like you just see him like fall within his own coat. And you just like see two tiny bat wings kind of like crawling out into the forest.
Don't mind me.
Yes, he is reduced to bat form and must retreat.
I will have my revenge.
What's this resolve token being spent on?
While Schmezos is distracted by Ephraim finally getting the upper hand on him, you hear kind of off in the distance as people from the town are running up, you hear a voice go, "See, Gorfit, I told you there was a dragon." and then you hear a bang, and camera whips back, and we see Weehawk with his deep dwarf long rifle,
my God.
just parked on a hill, kind of off in the distance.
Just a banjo and
sniping
guitar
fools.
riff as he
It's smoke just kind of twists out of the barrel as a powerful dwarven forged round just hits Dragon Schmezos directly in the gob.
Oh no, my beautiful face.
my smoking hot face.
I would also like to spend a resolve token as I crest the hill as running back from the town with Father Phineas on my shoulders.
Yeah.
And I like to imagine that Father Phineas's eyes start to glow and he starts chanting his clerical prayers and releases we see why Father Phineas is indeed the father, as he is an extremely powerful cleric.
Yes. Spend that resolve token.
Yeah.
Freddy, you can't help but feel this pride welling up in your heart as you watch your people just flow around you. Some with sticks and shovels, ready to fight with what little they've got. Others,
Go, angry mob.
people are slapping you on the back and cheering for you, and those harsh words from Joffrey Schmezos fade away as you see the people here genuinely like you.
Oh.
You see them smile
That's
at
nice.
you. You hear them cheer your name as they rush forward. And Frederick, you have a little bit of a blast from the past.
Uh-oh.
A little bit of a deja vu.
What on earth could cause deja vu in this moment?
You know, so we talked a while.
You ever been fighting a huge dragon and just thought, man, I could swear I've done this before?
So some episodes back in our question corner, we talked about these characters' first crushes.
Oh shoot, yes, uh-huh.
The maid who worked for y'all back in the day.
Yeah.
How did she wear her hair? What was her hair like?
It was always up into a loose, messy bun.
What color?
Strawberry blonde.
Strawberry blonde. It's so weird. Of all these people, you see a messy strawberry blonde bun standing by as they pass you and head towards the fray. This person is walking alongside Sir Bashmore, who turns back and gives you a smile and a nod, walking forward with their companion with the strawberry blonde bun, who is pulling a great sword off their back.
Heck yeah, go get him.
You only have that moment of, wait, that's
Hang on a
so
sec.
similar, before another burst of flame comes from Joffrey Schmezos and you're shaken back to what's going on.
I just keep holding Father Phineas up.
Father
You got
Phineas
this.
finishes his incantation, and boosh, this burst of light that nearly sends you toppling backwards fires off from Father Phineas's hands. The tides have turned on Joffrey Schmezos. Any other thoughts as this battle is coming to its conclusion?
I feel
Freddy
like Niles,
is just like Lion Kinging Father Phineas up into the sky.
The circle of life.
It's just he Hadouken, like just light shoots from him.
Yeah.
I feel like as all this is happening, Niles kind of runs towards Schmezos like with his mason hand and is going to cast Spirit Guardian, which kind of like he probably use a resolve on that. So I will. And like around him you just see like a mix of angelic horses and mules start lifting him up in what can only be described as a very cathartic moment. And they all combine into one magic flying mule. And it kind of like hits Schmezos right in the face, and he kind of brings down his like mace right on top of that.
Nice. I see this beautiful, like, cartoonish bonk of just right on his nose, and some teeth go flying.
My nose.
Ephraim, how are you doing in this fight at this point, as the tides have turned?
I feel like Ephraim's cloak is probably a little bit scorched, but he is casting what little magic he has available to him, especially now that his link with Vlad is pretty much severed. Mm-hmm. He's mostly just focusing on Radigan. It's like he can't do much to the Red Dragon, but he can at least like maintain his link with Radigan, and then I guess like rush over and just sort of help Radigan detain Lady Anna Kendrick.
I think at this point, as the crowds appear, Miss Anna Kendrick like looks around nervously, puts her amulet back on, and hops to her feet and tries to like hide in the crowd and get out of there.
I'm a normal person. Don't worry about me.
And as she does, with Rat still clinging to her, looking back at you like, do we like still move her? She like bumps shoulders with another figure as Miss Leapfrog bumps past her, and they meet eyes for a moment. And Miss Anna Kendrick hurries away as Miss Leapfrog comes forward and looks up at Joffrey Schmezos. She walks right up to him, takes her glove off her hand, and smacks him with it. Which is just like hits his like wrist, his big old dragon
snout.
wrist. And his head whooshes around and he looks down. And his eyes widen. Miss Leapfrog, what are you doing here?
Ephraim's jaw drops. He's like, was she talking about him the whole time?
Is this happening?
She reaches under her collar and pulls out a chain on which is an engagement ring. And she says, Joffrey, we have some talking to do. Mister, get down here right now. I'm a little busy right now. I'm, currently engaged. Oh. Yes, and who are you engaged with first, Joffrey? There's some ooh from the crowd.
Oh, ooh.
Ephraim's look of like shock and confusion just slowly morphs into utter delight.
Yeah, Freddie is just having like the purest joy on his face right now.
See Father Phineas just like clapping his hands a little bit.
Yay!
Yay!
I haven't had this much fun since '06.
1406.
Miss Leapfrog whips around and looks at Niles and says, Niles, you'd best get back to town. Her carriage is arriving. Go.
Huh?
No, go now. I'll be busy here. I'll take care of this. She turns around and starts smacking at him with her glove, and he goes, oh, schmoozy poo. Like, wait, we could talk about this.
Ephraim turns to Niles and is like, she's right. You should go. We can handle the rest of this.
Okay. And he kind of just turns on his heel and starts walking back, a little bit puzzled.
Over her shoulder, she yells, faster! Go! She's waiting for you!
Use your legs, bro.
The crowd, hearing Freddy
Hurry,
say
boy,
this,
she's waiting there for you.
starts rushing
Ditch
Niles
the
along as
chainmail.
well. Starts pushing him, slapping on the back as he finds himself going from a walk to a quicker walk to a sprint and a run, and
To
he's
a
just
canter,
running back to
to a-
town.
And he morphs into a horse. Ah!
The spirit guardian is just like picks him up and kind of starts flying him out.
And as
I would
he-
like to spend one resolve token before we have this happen, because I need to see this happen. But I would like to spend a resolve token to have the dove also be at this final encounter.
Ooh, what is the dove doing?
Yeah.
I imagine they're just like on a hill somewhere, just observing.
Ooh, what if the
Taking-
dove,
Taking detailed notes about what's been going on with Schmezos.
the fanboy in me hates to say this, but like, what if she stops Lady Anna Kendrick?
Ooh.
What would
I like
that look
that.
like?
This is your resolve token, Dylan. Is that cool? Is that what you want?
Yeah, go for it.
Before we continue to follow Niles, as Miss Anna Kendrick is shuffling away from the scene because she has to shuffle. She is wearing a mermaid dress, of course. So she knocks the final Ratigan off of her and turns and nearly runs into the dove. And she opens her mouth to start speaking, but can't because she has the medallion on. And the dove just reaches out with a gloved hand, those golden claws on the tips, and picks up the medallion, turns it over, and says, "You tried to mess with the wrong town. As long as the Worthingtons are here, and as long as the Worthingtons are for Pearlsfield, everything will be just fine, won't it?" And she yanks, and the chain of the medallion snaps, and Miss Anna Kendrick flops down. And she just says, "What's
Just
wrong
picture her
with you?"
flopping like a...
The dove flips it and walks off with the medallion.
Is the dove Mumsy?
As Anna Kendrick just goes, "Ah!"
No!
Niles. Niles is running. He's running and stumbles and catches himself and continues climbing up this hill. And when you come to the top of the hill, you're hit by a breeze that causes you to stumble backwards for a moment. And you blink, your eyes stinging in the morning
very
light
heavy
and the
chainmail.
breeze. It's very heavy. And you're really tired. And you look down, and climbing up the hill is Georgia.
Niles' cold sweat has become a regular sweat.
Yes.
And behind her, a little ways behind her, is a person heavily veiled with black, in black clothing, black veil over her face, or their face. Looks like a dress, a little far away. But Georgia catches sight of you. Niles! Is that you?
He's like, yeah. He's kind of speechless.
I'll be right there. Hold on.
And he runs towards her as well.
Wait, be careful.
It's one of those. It's like the Ghibli animations where it's like it starts downhill and it gets even steeper downhill and it goes from a run into a spin. And like,
I forgot how top heavy this armor was.
oh yeah.
She
It's
reaches
very
out to try to
impractical.
slow your fall. But then, very like Princess Bride, you run into her and both go tumbling down the hill past this figure who reaches out to try to stop you both and then just turns around and follows you down the hill.
And I imagine we probably land pretty safely. Only a few broken bones.
Just a little bruised, you land side by side in the soft grass at the base of the hill. Niles! Oh my goodness. Now you're in armor. What's going on? The whole town was up in a frenzy. What?
It's a whole thing. A little hard to explain. I'm not. To be honest, there was a rich guy who became a dragon. It's a whole thing.
Niles, I got your letter. I'm sorry I haven't written this past week. It's really good to see you.
And he's like gazing into her eyes, and then like kind of looks over her shoulder, like, he doesn't say anything because that's impolite. But like, is he getting evil vibes?
Yes, there is this aura of evil, this practically tangible darkness coming off of this person as they step towards you. The smell of death hits your nose, and Georgia turns back with a smile and says, "Niles, I'd like you to meet my mother."
That's what I figured.
My mother suffers from a curse, and that's made
She's the worst.
that's made taking care of me and my siblings really hard growing up. It's a little hard to find a job when you reek of death and you look like an old hag. The woman comes up and reaches out a gloved hand. But even through the glove, you can see these nails that probably have grown since she put them. She probably trimmed them before she put on the glove, and they're growing to start piercing through the glove.
It's like a scary Santa Claus movie. Like every time she shaves, it like goes back to being terrible.
She tries to do what she can, but then her body's like, "No, you're cursed. You're going to look horrifying."
This is a curse.
Listen, lady.
Capital C curse. Maybe Father Phineas can help.
Reverend Niles.
Yeah, that's definitely what Niles is thinking.
Let's get you up. Let's see.
Yeah, he kind of like shakes her hand, but like both of their hands start to burn.
Ow!
Nice to meet you. It kind of turns back towards Georgia. It appears we have some catching up to do.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. Let me go see if I can do anything to help the young people up the hill, and you two catch up, all right? Are you sure? Mama, like, do you need some help getting... I'm fine. I'm cursed, not old. And she, like, taps her heels. And he goes, "Oh, that actually hurt my hip. All right."
Don't do that.
She turns around and starts climbing up the hill.
Yeah, we can call in some 9th level spells there. So...
Hi.
We'll work on that.
She pulls out the letter.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Lynn, did you have it up the whole time?
Ephraim sent it to me. He put it in my bag when I left.
Huh. Well,
Niles?
have you read it?
Multiple times. Let's walk and talk. If you can walk, you didn't mess up your leg or anything in that ball or in that battle?
Looks down, the bones just sticking out. Fine. No,
I was going to say, camera pan, his leg is pointed the wrong way.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Maybe you should just sit down on this rock here.
Yeah, and he kind of like takes off the pauldrons, like is working on doffing his armor because it's a lot.
Oh,
It's fine. And he kind of just is like in very bare bones, like not undergarments, but like basic
Under
pants.
armor. Yeah, the
Under
leather
armor, yeah.
under armor that you would wear.
Not sponsored.
Yeah, it just has the UA under it. It's just straight up Under Armour. Yeah. So I apologize for not saying it earlier.
No, you don't have to apologize. If anyone should apologize, it's me, but... So, when I left, and when you told me how you felt, I couldn't accept it. Niles, you're so wonderful, and I'm not. I don't know what I am. I don't know who I am, and I don't have anything to offer, I thought. I don't have anything to give. And when I was talking to my mama about it, well, my mama's really wise. And she told me that maybe all I have to give is myself. And like I said, I don't really know who that is, but I've been so busy pretending to be Georgiana, it's all kind of mixed up and muddled in my head. But Niles, you've given so much to me. Would you like to get to know Georgia with me?
I'd love that.
Cool.
And he kind of grabs her hand.
She she like blushes and does this like very dorky giggle. And says, "Oh well, I guess that's a part of Georgia."
And then, could he lean in for a kiss, or is that like presumptuous?
He totally can lean in, and she'll lean in too. And as the sun is shining behind them, and we hear the cheers of victory in the background as the dragon has transformed back into Schmezos and is put in handcuffs, as Niles and Georgiana share a sweet, gentle kiss.
Yay.
And that's where we're going to end this chapter. Of Pearlsfield. Stay tuned as we reach our conclusion next episode, chapter whatever. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Hey everybody, Cam here. Thanks for listening to Minions and Misfits. If you like what you heard, don't forget to check out our socials. The links are down in the description. And please, leave us a review on whatever app you use to listen to your podcast. It'll help us reach more people who can enjoy the episode that you just listened to. See you next time.